yourself?
So my name is Laura. I'm 26 years old. Sounds weird saying that out loud. I don't think I've said that out loud yet. I
Is it your birthday?
currently no, it was in June, but with lockdown, it's like I kind of wrote this year off, so I still feel 25 if I'm honest. um, I have two fashion brands. So I have a fashion brand called Asakara by Laura Jane, where I hand make African print clothing and accessories. And I have a Christian clothing brand called Staylet Apparel, where I design Christian clothing, basically. Like the one that I'm wearing today, Living Loved. It's my favorite hoodie. So
What to say? Tell us.
it says Living Loved.
Oh, that's
It's
nice.
something that, yeah, it's a reminder to myself that no matter where you go, no matter what you're doing, like always know that you are living, loved by a God who loves you unconditionally, basically.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, thank you. So let's hear a bit about your journey then. How did this all get started?
Well, my friend basically inspired me to start the brand, Staylet Apparel. I have been a designer for a while now. I studied fashion at university.
Okay.
So I always wanted to have a fashion brand, just never expected to have two. I actually did a placement year at uni, and my third year was at a sportswear company. So I actually learned for a year how to design sportswear, and never really thought that it would ever come into my like fashion journey as me designing like hoodies and t-shirts and stuff like that. But yeah, this friend just inspired me and was like, you know what, you've got the skills, so why don't you just go for it and do it? And I hadn't actually worn any Christian apparel before I designed my own. But my sister had a lot, and she used to ship it from America all the time. And she'd pay like 14 to 16 pounds for shipping, and it used to hurt my soul because I'm just like, that's like basically a t-shirt.
Customs, so sometimes when it comes in, you have to pay again, don't you?
Right. So yeah, she's been through that whole thing, and my friend bought me a hoodie, and I think it cost like £40 in customs or something stupid like that. And I was like, oh, why is there no one in England doing this? Like, can't you just get it from the UK?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just like, you know what? There's not really many people in the UK doing this. Like, why don't we try? Why don't we start something up? So yeah, that's kind of what happened, and that's like we're here where we are today.
Oh, that's brilliant. And what made you go down? Let's specifically, was it your sister that inspired you to do Christian apparel specifically then?
I think in my brain there wasn't really a market for just apparel anyway. We've got Nike, we've got Adidas, like what am I competing with? Like there's not much point. They have great things that, you know, I just didn't want to compete with that. But yeah, I think I always feel like ministry and business are one. And I wanted to kind of use my fashion influence for God. So the reason I wanted to create Christian apparel is because I do believe that if we can rep Nike and Adidas in our everyday lives, then why can't we rep God in our everyday lives? And it's about finding, I guess, new ways to witness, because sometimes you don't actually get to speak to somebody face to face. So just what we wear can even tell a story.
Okay, and tell me, so have you had any experience with people coming up to you and talking to you about your clothing? So, because, you know, you're starting it as a ministry, are people sort of seeing what you're wearing and then just feeling impressed to come over and just say something, you know, open the conversation?
A couple of times, actually. I think I can share two experiences. The first one was actually at the beginning of lockdown. I have a sweater that says Jesus loves you. It's bright pink, my favorite color, and it was like one of the first things I printed for myself. And when I wear it, I don't always remember I'm wearing it. So I was walking with my family, and it was like at the beginning of this whole lockdown, and a random old man with his wife came up to me and was like, sister, Jesus loves you too. And I was just like, I just thought, I was like, huh, where did that come from? And he was like, oh, I feel like you're already part of my family, and started saying all this stuff to me. And I was just like, wait, what? And then he went in his bag and he brought something out, and he was like, please, can you take this? And we just started talking about church, and that was really heartwarming.
Yeah.
And yeah, I forgot I was wearing it, but at the same time, it was like, you just like, that would have never happened if I was just wearing a normal t-shirt. And also my friend, his family are not Seventh-day Adventist or Christian at all, and we went to their house just to say hi, to meet them. And basically I had a t-shirt, no, he had a t-shirt that said "Ask me about Jesus." And like his auntie basically was like, so can I actually ask you a question about Jesus? Like, it was like, or is it just a t-shirt? Like, or can I do that? And it was like, yeah, sure, ask us what you want to know. And it was just a conversation starter. Because people, I guess, see the t-shirt, sometimes they can ignore it, which is fine. Like, it's not for them to, they don't have to say something, but I think sometimes it breaks the ice and they're just like, oh, your t-shirt. Can I talk about that? It's like, yeah, sure. So definitely it's something that I think people don't, until you wear it, I think you don't notice how impactful it can be.
Yeah. So this is more than business for you. This is
100%.
And in terms of business, how is it doing? Because obviously we can hear that it's having a ministerial impact, that you're being approached by people, it's a conversation starter, you're talking about your ministry. How about the actual business side of it? How did you get that up and running? How did that get started?
So I'm just an entrepreneurial person. I'm always trying to think of, I guess, new ways to I guess I'm a creative person, and working for someone for me is not something that I'm like, oh, I'd like to do. I think I'm too opinionated, and God's just put it on my heart to want to have my own voice. And so when I was like trying to start up this company, I already knew how to design a website because I had one already, and it was just about finding the right supplier to print the clothing that we're doing. So I already have like a graphic design kind of background as well, so it was literally just trying to find the right supplier. And I do believe God really worked in that, because I even think every time we print something, the supplier has to read it as well, and see like what we're doing. And it's not like intentional for us to be like, look what we're doing, but you never know who's going to see that. And business wise, we have like a drop shipping kind of method. So I design the clothes, and the supplier will then print them and ship them to the customer. So that's really helped with COVID and everything like that, because there's less people handling it. And as well, we don't have stock, so everything's made to order. So in terms of cost, it keeps costs low. And yeah, I just think God has really worked, because if it was a different kind of business model, I think it wouldn't have survived the pandemic. But actually we're thriving, which is just such a blessing right now.
Oh, that's brilliant. And what were your, see, because to start something up, and you're saying that it was always in you, but I think that takes a certain personality and a certain type to kind of put yourself out there and to be vulnerable. What was your sort of, or if you did have one, did you have a backup plan? Did you have a kind of like, I'm just doing this and that is it, this is it? Or was there like a, okay, I'm going to just see how this goes, but actually I'm always going to, I've got Tesco at the back of my mind, or I've got, I've got a plan, or I'm staying, I'm going to live with my parents for the next 5 years until I get this thing started. I mean, what was the backup?
That's a really good question. I think because I already have another brand, I don't think I had so much pressure on this one to necessarily do as much. But in terms of backups, I'm that sort of person who, when things go wrong, I'll panic and be like, God, it's going wrong, like everything's caving in, what am I doing? And then I can go on Indeed, start looking at jobs, just working in like T-Mobile or 3, because I like phones and technology. I'm like, what else could I do? And every time I applied for another job, it was just like, no, you're not getting successful. And I kind of took that as a door that God kept closing, just being like, Laura, stick at this, like I've put you here for a reason. You don't need a backup plan, because I've got you. Like, if this doesn't work out, understand that you've touched some hearts, and that's okay. Like, even if one person finds me through one hoodie, that is enough. Like, I think you have to I've had to redefine success in my brain, like
Yeah.
what is success
Yeah.
in God's eyes, not necessarily mine. So backup plan, don't know if I have one.
What is success?
Yeah. When God says he left the 99 to find the one, that to God is success. So I've tried to have that same mindset. It's not about quantity, but more about quality. It's not about like reaching every person, but it could be about reaching just that one person, and doing what you can to reach those people. Like, I think one thing that I wouldn't say I'm confident in is doing Bible studies, although I can do them. I do kind of freak out sometimes, but God has shown me that I can write blog posts, and that's something that also has been a part of the brand, which I never expected would be, because I did really I wasn't confident in English as a child, and I hated kind of writing, and I didn't really get the best grades. So to think that blog posts are now something that I enjoy, and
that's good.
Yeah, I think God he knows what he's doing. Success in his eyes is just different to the human mindset.
Well, you've given us 2 testimonies already, so you already are successful. So congratulations.
Praise God, for sure.
Congratulations. And who is in on this venture with you? Are you a complete lone wolf just going out there and just tearing it up, or do you have other people that inspire you, that sort of support you, that are actually hands-on with you?
So the design work and all of the background stuff is what I'm doing, but along the way there's definitely been people who have supported. So friends who are creatives, who take pictures for me, just friends being models for me, my brother, my sister, with our videography skills, so creating the content. So although it's my brand, there's been so many people who have jumped on board and helped, even just promoting it and telling other people about it and just buying something. So I don't see it as just me. I see it as a community thing, even people writing blog posts. It's been I'd say it's like a collaboration brand.
Yeah, that's nice, like a family thing.
Yeah.
So talking about someone buying something, the actual buying of something, so there's a lot of talk about the Black community, that we don't support each other when it comes to us. But that there's this struggle because we tend to be more expensive, because we are buying one here and there, as opposed to being able to, as some cultures can do, pull together, buy in bulk, and then share the costs. How do you find that financially, your pricing? How competitive are you finding that you're able to be as a very, you're a small business?
It can be very difficult because you don't overprice things, but then you also, what's the point of doing it if you can't sustain it because you're losing money? I think with my first business, I remember when I first started, pricing was a joke. I used to just make it up looking at what I thought it was worth. And I remember I had a business mentor for 2 years, and she was like, right, we're going to get this pricing properly. And when she showed me how much things should cost, I panicked, and I was just like, Black people won't spend this much money. How am I going to even get customers? No one's going to pay for this or buy this. And I think sometimes we don't know what we're worth. And we don't recognize that other people are actually doing this and making a lot from it. Even just to make an example, a couple of years back, some designers on the catwalk used some African prints and sold garments that looked like just a standard dashiki you would wear kind of to cook in. They sold that for £1,000 plus.
Wow.
And it was just the fabric you probably got for under £10, and you are selling it for £1,000, and it probably didn't cost that much to make. So it was how come someone could do that and make the money back, but if I sold it and spent hours and hours making it, then people wouldn't buy it.
I
think again, you have to look at success in God's eyes,
Yeah.
and just know your worth, like, and also recognize that the customers that you want aren't always the people around you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, you can't always expect everybody, to be your customers. That's
Yeah.
not necessarily how it works.
Yeah.
But also that support doesn't always mean purchase. Support can mean just share it, because someone on your social media might want what I'm buying,
True.
might be willing to pay for it, even if you're not.
Yeah.
So all of that stuff really helps.
Yeah.
Even just commenting on a post, or saying, you know what, Laura, here's an idea for a t-shirt, or, you know what, Laura, I really like what you're doing. All of that really helps and encourages small businesses to grow.
Of course. And how do you market yourself? So how do you put yourself out there so that the people that need to see you are able to do so? I know social media's out there, but relying on a friend that could be tricky, because if they don't, then you're
Then what? Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure you've got a plan. So just let us in if you can.
I would say marketing is my weakest part of my business.
Okay.
Just because I am so bad at just telling people I exist. It's just, I'm always like, oh, Laura, what do you do? And I'll be there in the corner like, I just make clothes. And then someone else will be like, actually, she does this, she does this. I've always been that girl that really struggles to not find good things about what I do, but toot my own horn, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad thing, but sometimes I'm like, I just need a bit of help, which is where I rely on my friends. But I have tried to make content that people would want to actually engage with, and also supporting other businesses that are similar to mine helps to grow mine as well. So, for example, if there's a company that sells Bibles, or if there's a company that sells Christian books, just linking up with them also expands my reach as a Christian clothing company, because they might like the same or similar things. Also, just using marketing in terms of putting flyers in other parcels, or distributing flyers at events. And it's been harder with COVID, I can't lie.
Yeah.
But God is faithful. Like, trying so hard to do SEO. There's a lot to marketing. There's a lot to learn. But even things like this, doing a live.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah, this is very helpful. So
Good.
I thank you guys as
Good.
well.
Well, thank you for coming, and hopefully we can help you in some way, and we'll get to that near the end. But tell us a bit about your inspiration. Where do you get the inspiration for the slogans, for the the wording, for the language, for everything that you put out there? Where do you get that inspiration from?
If I'm honest, from my experiences, from what God shows me in Bible studies, in even other people's social media posts. Because sometimes, I think I saw recently, there was one that said you glow differently when, I can't even remember what it was. It was, you glow differently when you really don't remember it. But in my head, I saw it as you glow differently when you've got Jesus. Because to me, that's when I glow differently, when I know Jesus. I went through like a really rough patch earlier this year. And the thing that God said to me is, you are more than enough. So that was something that I decided I needed to put on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
A lot of people used to say they're living their best life, but I changed it to, you know what, living my blessed life, because this is a whole blessing.
Yeah.
There's so many things. God just inspires me in little like verses that he writes, and just like, you're free indeed, you're more than enough, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. All of these affirmations that he has in his word. I think because my love language is words of affirmations, I look for them. So when I'm searching for them, I'll be like, that would be great on a t-shirt.
Yeah, no, I hear that. And then so would you say that that spiritually, or personally spiritually, you have benefited from running a business, as opposed to just getting up, going and doing your 9 to 5 somewhere, coming home? That doesn't necessarily have a knock-on effect on your spiritual life. You can just continue as is. So would you say that sort of the effort needed to, you know, to do this on your, you know, independently, it has that kind of influence on your, or additional benefit to your spiritual life?
100%. I think it helps me to be more consistent,
Mm.
because I know that, for example, I know every month I've got to schedule some posts for this daily Instagram. So I need to know what God's saying or what God has to say to people. Also, I'll try and make new designs every month. Okay. So it's like, I can't be stagnant in this walk. Like, every day is a new testimony. Every day has got new blessings. And it's like God is asking me to search for them.
Yeah.
And I think in doing that, like, I'm growing in my relationship with him and being challenged. And I think that's a really important thing, to be challenged. And even to have tests and trials, like, it makes you so much stronger. And even the blog posts that I get to write, truthfully, most of them are just like journal entries.
Yeah.
Like, I've been writing these letters to God, like, and that's where they come from.
Right.
So I really do think that it's growing my faith in God. Even just seeing how through lockdown, there was a point where the supplier were like, we can't print, we can't ship. And I was like, right, okay, so cool, what am I doing now? And I panicked and I just cried, and I was like, don't know what to do here. And then I remember the day they were like, we're actually back. And I was like, okay. And then I remember the day that I got my first sale. Just all these little things, like, God shows me through the business that he is faithful and that he's there, even when I'm not faithful. And it's a constant reminder to me of his love for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Have you ever had a creative block where you just, that's it, you just like, it's just not coming? I'm supposed to be putting something out this month. I said I was going to start, you know, being consistent, and this month I've got nothing. I feel empty, and I can't, you know, I've got t-shirts and I'm looking at them, I've got nothing to put on them. How am I, like, have you ever got to that point where even, you know, wanting to write the blog, or, you know, sort of any of the process where you're putting yourself out there and you realize I'm empty? Has that ever happened to you?
Multiple times, I'll be honest. There's times, because like I said, you aim to get stuff out every month, and then it's almost like sometimes you have to force the process. So you don't really have anything to say, or you've got an idea, but it's like, how do you make it look right? Like, if people saw the design process, it's so tedious, so many like different versions of the same thing, different text, different methods, different like squares, and it's just like, after a point you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'll just literally close my laptop and be like, right, that's me done for the day, and just move on to something else, because sometimes you can't force it. At points like that, I do call my sister. I'm like, sis, which one is the nice one? Like, to me they all look bad now. So and spelling sometimes look wrong, like the word blessed, at a point I was like, is that even how you spell it? Like, it doesn't look correct. Like, so many things. And then there'll be other days where you just churn out so many designs, you're like, why didn't I have this another day?
Oh, well, I guess it's dips and troughs.
100%.
Mountains and valleys, let's go with that.
Literally, it's a roller coaster, this whole process.
Yeah, of course it is. And then in terms of your own emotional well-being, do you ever just get scared and just think, have you ever got to the point where you think, I'm done, this is not working, I'm scared, you know, because it's such a challenge to do that, to go through it all? Do you ever just feel like, I mean, scared is such a, I don't want to say strong word, but it is, isn't it? It's a very vulnerable word to
vulnerable.
So how do you feel about using that language and just saying, actually, sometimes I am, if you
I think sometimes you don't want to admit it, but I'll be honest and say there's so many points where you're afraid, because like you said, humans kind of want that backup plan. So when I think about how I don't really have one, like if both of these businesses failed, what would I do instead? It's like, well, I studied fashion and I kind of only know fashion, and I don't really know what I would do. And I think there are points when the devil comes in and he's just like, you're not good enough, like you can't do this, you are failing. Especially with my first business, I had that really, really big hit where I was just like, I'm quitting tomorrow. I even said it, I was like, I'm quitting, I'm doing something else, I can't do this anymore. And mentally it can be isolating as well, because being a sole trader, working on your own, like with COVID it's worse. Like I stayed in the house anyway, but I was free to go. Like I was free to walk around and drive anywhere, see some friends and whatever. But now it's like, you must stay in your house and you must see nobody, and the only people you will ever see are the people that you see. And I don't have colleagues, so I just have family members. So it can be really like scary and stressful mentally. But again, it's another opportunity for me to lean on God and just allow him to be what I can't be. And like perfect love casts out fear. So it's like when I am afraid, the Bible says, run, like go to God. Whenever I'm afraid, I'll trust you. And I have to just take him at his word and just be like, you know what, God, I don't get it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. I'm afraid. Help. Help me.
So let's go back to, if you don't mind, to the beginning of your story. Because you just said, like, I studied fashion. That's all I know. Why did you go down this narrow road? What made you choose fashion?
It's a tough one, because I'm like, truthfully, do I even know the answer to why I chose fashion? I just loved it. Like I love to sew, I love to create. My sister is an animator, my brother's a graphic designer.
Oh wow.
And my thing was always fashion. Like we all had our niches in art. And I don't know why. Like I don't think we were smart enough to be doctors and nurses and stuff like that. And I don't really like the medical, like I'm not good with like when people are ill, so I'm not great help there. Math, accounting, it's not that fun to me. Science I'm not that great at. I said English isn't my thing either. So I guess it was like the limiting options were you can be an artist or you can just be an artist. So and I even narrowed it down. Like a lot of people do A levels. I just did a BTech in art. I was like, I'm gonna do something creative with my life. And I don't think at the time I chose all of this, I knew why or what I was aiming for. Like I didn't necessarily have this whole mission goal in mind of serving God. And I feel like even through uni, I don't think I did what I could to showcase God in that. But then it was kind of after uni, I was like, whoa, what a missed opportunity. Like, and I think somebody was saying, don't be a fashion designer who's Adventist, be an Adventist fashion designer. And it's like, maybe because we haven't seen the representation, like we don't know many others who are also in this kind of same boat as us doing these things, that we're scared to be the first. Or to step out and try it. But I think God also can use those in this industry. God can use people in fashion, in photography, in art, in music. Like we all have our different talents and skills, and God made us different for a reason. Absolutely. To use them.
I would add, just for the record, that I don't think creatives are less intelligent.
That is true. I hope I didn't make that sound like that.
Well, I think sometimes it can be
it can be like that.
It can be the message that's given to us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You weren't good enough for ABC, so you've settled for being a creative. And actually, you know, it's like you say, God's given us gifts.
100%.
That, you know, that accountant couldn't do what you can do, and or that, you know, that doctor, you know, with a pencil create what you can create. With all the inspiration in the world cannot come up with the designs that you are able to come up with.
That is very true.
You know, everyone has their gift, and I don't think intelligence. I think there are so many intelligent creatives that deserve their credit, because, like you say, it's a very scary thing. It's a very, especially in our culture, we like to see people in a 9 to 5. We like to see people in a suit and tie. We like to see people dressed for the office, you know, we like to see a title that suggests there is a set income. We like a set salary. We like that. And however, I would say there's a bravery and an absolute respect with just saying no. I'm stepping out. I'm going to do it. I think it's more than just, you know, it's a comfort zone that might be yours, but it isn't somebody else's. And
that's true.
All power to you.
Thank you. I also would just add that I think the opposition you face as an artist can make you feel like you are less than. Because I know when there was somebody, we went somewhere, I think to a church somewhere, and somebody was asking my parents, oh, what do your children do? And they're like, oh, a graphic designer, that's nice. Oh, an illustrator. Oh, like, so you do, oh, that's nice. And then it was like, a fashion designer. Why would she choose to do fashion? And although I don't think they meant it in a bad way, it sticks with you, and you do feel like, oh, well, okay, maybe it was not a good, bright choice, but like I did say, like, everybody has their gifts and talents and what they're good at, and sometimes you do feel like you're supposed to be one of those people that has the stable job that's 9 to 5, and like that's how society makes you feel. You should be like that. That's what you should have, and if you don't have that, it's weird. But I thank God for this lifestyle He's given me, just because I'm like, when I think of all the things with ministry that I also do, none of it would have been possible if I had that 9 to 5 job. None of it would have been possible if I did have a different lifestyle and different way of working. So I do thank you for like reiterating that and reminding people, like, it's okay to not follow the norm, or it's okay to be creative and to do different things.
Like more than okay. It's amazing. Just wanted to see whether, if you could start this journey over again, you could go right back to the beginning, what would you say to your starter self? What advice would you give yourself? Would you say, you know, that you didn't, things you missed the first time around, things you lacked?
I would probably say ask for help, because I like to do things on my own, and it's not always great because I'm not the best person for every job. So ask for help is one that I would say to myself for sure. Do your research. Like, there's always things you can learn. No matter how good you are at something, you can always be better. So research and like find out how to do things properly. Like with the costings, me making it up, I laugh. I laugh at the fact that I did that now. I'm just like, what was I thinking? Like, it's crazy. It's embarrassing, but I'm just like, you know what? Let me tell people, because there's probably someone out there who does the same thing. Like, there's actually a strategy to costing, guys. Just so you know. And I think as well, it's okay to be different. And it's okay to not necessarily. It's okay to have big dreams. Like,
definitely.
I've always dreamed big. Like, I said to my dad the other day, Dad, I'm building an empire. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, truthfully, Dad, I really just want to travel the world. And I want to have a business that runs itself, so that like I can be funded doing like mission stuff and just go travel the world and tell people about God. That's what I want to do. Like, and he was like, I really like that, Laura. Like, and I was like, you know what? That's what I want to do. Like, I'm building this business so that it can be small enough for me to do it anywhere. So that I don't have to be tied to a room or a house or a location. Like, if I've got a laptop, if I've got some Wi-Fi, I can just like design some things, upload some things, and they'll just automatically, like, that's the goal, that's the aim. And yeah, like, yeah, dream big. Why not? Like, what have you got to lose? That's, yeah, I tell myself those things.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Twice you've mentioned your costings, and you said that you had a mentor. So tell us about that and that process.
So I, like, basically at the first year of my business as a carer, I wouldn't class myself as a businesswoman then. I was fresh out of uni and I had no job because I was just searching for jobs, and like, no joke, at least 10 to 20 applications a day for like a year. And because by that point I was technically unemployed, I was able to apply for a Prince's Trust business mentor. So I got this mentor, and I thank God that I didn't get a job in that time, because this mentor changed my life. She genuinely stepped in and was like, she gave me all the support that I needed. She was also the one that believed in me and was like, you're amazing, like, you can do this. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You've got a great business model, you make great clothes, da da da. And I was like, wow. And she also encouraged me to do the t-shirts as well. So to start the second business, she was a very important like role in my life. And even now, even today, she sent me a message just to say, like, I'm so proud of what you're doing. And even though she doesn't mentor me now, she's somebody in my life that I'll never forget. So I just praise God for her and for all the support that she gave. I think it's important that we have mentors in our lives and people to help us through. And I also would love to, at some point in my life, mentor someone else, because I just think, yeah, I hope or pray that there's something that I can teach somebody.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Someone should be squirreling away trying to type and just mentor me. Come on. We're putting it out there.
you know in your brain when you're like, yeah, when I'm like 50, maybe not yet.
no, right now, in the moment, while it's all going.
Oh wow.
It's going. So apparently you made an announcement today. I want to hear about that.
Oh, okay. I did make an announcement on Instagram TV, on Asakara. So basically, the museum local to my where I live, so Preston, the Harris Museum, basically asked me to design a dress for them, for their archives. And it came out in an interview that we did yesterday. So we're going to document the whole process, so that next to the dress we can also have like videos and like the process of it being made.
That sounds
and I'm so excited for this project. But also they have recognized that they haven't got that much black art in their museum, so they haven't actually got any black fashion pieces. So this is the first like black artist fashion piece that they're going to have in the museum, which to me is so humbling.
It's monumental.
Yeah, it's history. And she said it in a way, she was like, I'm really sorry to say that we haven't got that. And I was like, as much as I understand that it's a bad thing, it's amazing that I still get to be the first. Like, to me, that's also like,
that's cool.
Like, that's awesome. Like,
absolutely.
So yeah, I'm really excited to get started on the dress. Like, so excited.
Okay, give us a sneak preview. What's it gonna look like?
Okay, so I can pull the fabric, but so it's gonna be in this fabric.
Sorry, just to say, like, you saw it here before you see it in the museum. Love the colors.
So excited to work with it. And the dress it's a fishtail dress.
Lovely.
With like, it's gonna have 3 tiers at the bottom. Hopefully it's gonna have all the drama. And yeah, I'm really excited to make it. Hopefully it's just gonna be the best dress I've ever made. That's the aim.
Brilliant. If you need a model with a mum body,
I know who to call. If you would like to stand in the museum for years, please let me know. I heard it's going to go in a glass box.
how am I doing?
You're doing great. I think you might get bored.
I don't know why my arm's up there. Stopping myself from collapsing in the box.
Bless you.
We've got 10 minutes left.
Okay.
We've talked so much. We've just got to the perfect point where I want to talk about culture.
Okay.
And, you know, it's Black Future Month. We are talking about, you are the future, 100%, because, you know, you're getting your piece in the museum. You're going to be the first. That makes you a trailblazer.
Wow, that's deep.
You're putting Preston on the map. You are putting your blackness. You're putting it out there. Your culture. You're representing. It's brilliant. This is exactly what we need. I'm so grateful that you shared this information with us and that we got to the sneak preview. I'm ecstatic. But we've been spoken a lot about your second business, but I want to just hear a little bit about the first, about your African prints, about that whole journey, that business, and what's happening there.
So basically it all started when my friend brought me back some prints from Africa. I'm actually Caribbean by heritage, Dominican and Montserrat.
What part of Dominica?
Roseau
town. Wow.
I hope that helps. I
Happy
haven't
Independence
been.
Day. Did you know it was Independence Day today?
I didn't.
Happy really Independence
Day. But thank you. I'm gonna just call my grandparents and say Happy Independence Day.
Yeah, they would like that.
I need to go to Dominica and I need to go to Montserrat because I've been to Zimbabwe first, which I feel like it's a bit.
Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's where you're from originally. Who knows?
I think so. I'm in my heart, guys. I think so.
Who knows?
Well, I did fall in love with Zimbabwe and just African prints in general. I feel like every time I see an African print, I think royalty, straight up, just like. And when I wear them, I feel like a whole queen. Like it's like when God says you are fearfully and wonderfully made, I recognize that I'm like, when you wear certain clothes, you're reminded of that.
Yeah.
God wants us to look good and feel good too. Like he made us special. And the reason I started that brand was because I wanted to dress people so that they could feel the way God sees them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's just all about celebrating the beauty that's inside of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm so grateful for that brand as well. Like I make head wraps and bow ties a lot of the time, but sometimes I do get to design dresses and shirts and like things for people's weddings, like important days in their lives. And that's so exciting.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
It's special. It's so special.
Oh, that's nice. I'm going to let you into a secret, right? So today, when I was getting ready, I ordered this. I have a matching head wrap with a mask and matching earrings, and I've lost. This is the second time I've lost the earrings and had to message the company and say, "Could you send me more earrings? I can't find them." And and then today I was like, "Oh, I want my earrings to match my head wrap." I put my children to sleep at 7:00. I read the story up until 7:30. I left their room at 7:30. Got myself ready. Got the glue gun out. Pulled out my earrings. Cut a piece of my wrap, and I wrapped the earrings up like this frantically. And I just said, "Jack, right, it's Black Fashion Week tonight. I was Black Fashion night tonight." I said, "I'm doing it."
That is creativity right there.
When I messaged you and I said, "Are you ready?"
And you were there like this.
They're like this. Glue gun.
That's hilarious.
I'm doing this. I'm representing.
I wouldn't have noticed. I wouldn't have known that you just wrapped them like 10 minutes ago, you know?
Yeah, there you go. One was a little bit frayed. I like the frayed look, but then the other one didn't come out so frayed. I was like, oh man.
That's how it goes. With handmade things, they don't necessarily always come out the way that they
I can imagine. But I'm coming to your site and I'm going to find something that I love and I'm going to invest.
So.
And
Thank you.
I'm asking everybody to have a look at my new business. I am your new business pastor.
I'll come to you for new ideas.
For inspiration. Pastor. I'm not a pastor. So yeah, so what advice have you got for the new starters? Somebody who wants to do, you know, as you are, you're the trailblazer.
Crazy.
Someone's coming up behind you.
Yes. I hope so.
What advice have you got for them?
I would say, first of all, start. Second of all, start. And third of all, start. Sometimes we wait for the best camera and the best equipment and the best da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, no, we do.
But it's not about having the best. It's about what you make with what you have. So when I tell you guys, like, my studio is a loft in my house, like, I make it work. I've never just thought this is too small and I can't sew garments in here. I can. Like, it's all right. I can work with this.
Yeah.
The sewing machine that I had for 10 years.
Wow.
And it cost my parents £60.
Wow.
And that lasted me up until this year, when my family just genuinely just invested in my whole craft and bought me a new sewing machine, new mannequin, and I was like, wow, you guys really believe in me. Like,
thanks. That's fantastic.
I appreciate you. And yeah, if I would have waited to get like the best sewing machine, it would have taken me 10 years to actually just get anywhere and to get one dress off the market. So literally, look at what you have in your hand. That's what God said to Moses. Like, what have you got in your hand?
Yeah.
Like, look at this. Use that. And it's the same with us. Like, what have you got in your hand right now? Start something with it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That's literally what I would say.
That's fantastic. We're studying Moses at the moment at Templeway. So that is a really good point.
Nice.
So yeah, what is in your hand? Just get going. Just start. Don't hinder. Don't look left, look right. Don't start making excuses. No apologies. Just do it. I think that's brilliant advice. And 2020, with everything, I know you said that at some point the printers weren't printing, but in equal measure, the Black consciousness of the community shot up. Black Lives Matter became really popular. Every celebrity you see is wearing something that represents culture. When you see them in the media, you know, Coco Girl and Coco Boy, the things are just popping up. How is your first business? How is that doing as a result of everything that's happening at the moment?
I think it's a 50-50. So at the beginning of lockdown, I panicked, but then started making masks, and then those sold like crazy because I guess with the Black Lives Matter movement as well, people wanted to represent in a smaller way. Possibly head wraps went for them, or bow ties. Like, nobody needed a bow tie at that point, so it was like and it can be difficult because I sell things that you kind of need for an occasion and no one's going anywhere. So that does panic me some days. I'm like, okay, I want to make a dress today, but nobody needs a dress today. So there's that aspect. But yeah, the masks were doing really well. And now it's like everyone already has a mask, so it's not as crazy as it was. But it's still okay. Like, it's still fine. I would say that having both businesses is helpful now because Stay Lit is almost now on par with the first business.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Which is crazy, I didn't expect it, but God is like, you know what? Like, don't worry, I got you. I'll sustain you. So yeah, it's a blessing. Every day is really different. Some days it's like, oh, there's so much to do. Other days it's like, I'm just gonna have a day off because there's absolutely nothing to do today. So yeah, but it's the beauty of being self-employed.
Yeah, of course. So I'd like that. The idea of being able to have a day to lay in. That sounds brilliant. So where can we find you? Let's get that up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want to type? Do you want to type in the comments?
I can.
Yeah,
I
your.
can try. That awkward face that you make when you're trying to type and be on live.
It's just so, if you're looking down or up.
Okay. Oh wow, my phone always does this thing where it changes the UK to something weird.
We need to know where to find you, where to go and get our products. We want to support you. We are here to support you. We are openly having conversations with Black businesses this week, with Black entrepreneurs. We are supporting. Hey, Mona Lisa. My name is Ramona.
My bestie. Sound like, hey, bestie.
So yeah, so we are openly supporting excellence. So we've got the two links there.
I think that makes sense.
Please follow. That's how we are going to support. Please follow.
That
Please check out the website. Please have a look. And is there anything that you would want to share with us before we go?
I would just like to say thank you. Honestly, this has been a blessing. To those of me who know me, lives always scare me. Because I'm like, what if I say something wrong? What if they ask me something scary? And what, like, vulnerability, not the best at that, but I'm trying, and I'm like, I thank you for pushing me out of my comfort zone, and for just allowing me to be able to share what I do. This has been an encouragement to me, so yeah, thanks so much. And to everyone who watched, I just want to say thank you for watching and joining in the discussion. And yeah, please feel free to check out Asakara and Stay Lit. And if you know anyone that might like anything in any of those brands, just send it to them, because that helps. So yeah.
Thank you. What does Asakara mean?
I like that question. So basically, in essence, it means created by God with fabric. So that's kind of what the name means.
In what language? Is that a language?
So Asika is in Shona. It means created by God. And then Ankara is just like a universal kind of word for African fabrics. So together it became Asakara, and yeah, in essence it means created by God with fabric.
I absolutely love that. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
The other way around, I'm like, thank you for having me.
No, well, equally, this is our first meeting, it's our first conversation, and it's been a joy, it's been a blessing, it's been very easy. Thank you for making it easy. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable.
You're welcome.
And thank you for being a trailblazer. I saw on a t-shirt recently that I mentioned in another live, actually, and the t-shirt said, and you're welcome to copy it, I'm sure. It said, you are the ancestors of the future. Is that right? I might not have the wording right.
Sense.
Yes. So you are the ancestors of the future. Yes. So people are going to be looking back at us, at what you're doing. They're going to be looking in a history book, and they're going to be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it wasn't until 2021 that there was a Black African dress in Preston Museum. Like, this is crazy. How did that happen? They're going to be looking back at the history books, and they're going to be like, that Laura, she did it, man. She did it.
That's crazy to think.
You're going to be in a book. You're going to be represented. Even if I have to write the book myself.
That's fun.
It's going to be out there. You are representing creatives in a wonderful way.
Crazy.
Your Liberty has said that she loves the meaning of your business name. I completely concur. It's beautiful. You are a trailblazer. You are doing great things. Thank you so much for being with us. And we want to bless you, and we want to thank you, and we hope that you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, and I hope you do too. It's been a blessing. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, it's been great. Thank you so much.
Good, good. All right, before we get cut off, have a lovely evening. Thank you to
You
everyone
too.
who joined in.